Welcome back to Mended, the big 2-1. We have my boy Idris here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
He was scheduled to be here a couple weeks ago, and something came up. And you literally held it down, though. You sat here. It was like, yeah, I'm going to head out now.
I had my show outfit, had the whole thing planned. I was like ready for this, and but I also know that like we save people's lives and you had to do something. So,
yeah.
Another day though, I'm here.
We're here. We're lucky because we have tomorrows. Most of the time, you have tomorrows now.
Yeah, I have a lot of tomorrows due to a lot of bad yesterdays,
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Tell us a little bit about it. Where do you come from? What did your childhood look like? I like to take it back to the roots.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I would like to say like, I had one of these childhoods where like I was like in like this bad situation. Like I can say my environment was bad, but my mother didn't allow that to affect the way we were raised. I grew up in Boston. I grew up in Boston in the 80s, right? So, like, I grew up in, like, the middle of the crack era. You know what I mean? Like, I can remember looking out my window and, like, literally seeing, like, crackheads, like, passing their babies past, like, through car windows. Like, it was, like, it was so crazy in that era, like, where, like, there would be, like, lines of cars all the way down my street and, like, people just selling crack. Like, it was, like, an open market.
Literally what you see in movies.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like, from, like, 86 to, like, 88. It was like nonstop. Like the police did nothing about it. Like people would be walking down the street with freaking TVs, carrying down the street. It was like crazy, right? But like I had to navigate that. You know what I mean? Like I had to like walk through that gauntlet every day. You know what I mean? I had my little sister. So my little sister was like really always smart, and I was like the kid who kind of got in trouble, right? Like I gravitated to that. You know?
You tested the waters.
Oh, I loved it, right? Like, and like I remember one day, right, I was like coming home from school and my little sister was sitting on the steps of our building and she's like, this guy's in front of her, right, and he's lighting a crack pipe in her face and she's like, Idris, magic, right? Like she has no idea what's going on. This dude's like lighting a crack pipe in like my little sister's face. She's like 6 years old, and like that was my environment, right? So like I was like normalized, like that was normal, right? And like, yeah, like my family dynamic was weird. Like my father was there, but he wasn't, right? Like, my mother was my father, right? My mother is like who I consider like my rock, right? Like she held it down extremely, right? Like I get everything from her, like my fashion, like, she like put me in situations, because she knew like I was going to need to learn how to like survive very young. So like she used to do shit to me, like send me to Vermont and like on a Saturday morning to go skiing with a bunch of white people. And
how was that?
And I used to be so angry, right? Like, I don't want to do this.
Like,
right?
What the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah, like absolutely, right? And she's like, you're going, right? And I'd be like on this fucking bus in this van and like snowing, like, but like I learned how to ski, like I learned how to snowboard.
You learned how to be around white people.
Yeah, absolutely, right? She would take me to like these jazz festivals and these art things, right? And I'd like hate it, right? And I'd be like, what the fuck, right? Like I just
she was exposing you.
Yeah, she was like teaching me not how to be in a box, right? Which I didn't understand at that time, but like later on in my life, that absolutely was like, it's like I needed that, right? But
yeah,
like
it was so beneficial.
But at that time, no, it wasn't, right? I was like, I want to be in the hood. I want to be with my boys running up and down the streets. I want to be causing chaos, and like I want to be doing dumb shit.
You wanted to become a product of your environment.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. So, like, it was hard not to be, right? Even with the best she could do, right? Like, she couldn't see me all day, right? My mother worked. When my father was around, he worked, right? So it was just like free for all, right? Like I remember taking the bus and the train from like Mass Ave, Boston, where I lived close to Mass Ave. It wasn't Mass Ave then, and all the way to Rosendale, right? I would take the train at like 7 years old, right? Because I would be so bad, I'd get kicked off the bus. So my mother was like, "Well, I'm not driving your ass. You're gonna get on the train.
You're gonna get there.
And yeah, so I was like taking the train, right? Like at 7 years old, right? Like I knew how to do that, right?
You were already bad at 7.
I was bad at 7. Yeah, I was. You
were
know
you
what I
a
mean?
bully? What were you doing to get kicked off the bus?
Yeah, like dumb shit. Yeah, fighting. You know, I was always skinny. I was always the skinny kid, so I always had to like try to make sure that like no one fucked with me. So I always like was fighting. I was just always doing like reckless shit, man. Like, and like in my head early, right? Like I look back at it now, like I was already like, my brain was wired very different. Like I wanted money like at a young age. So I was like doing dumb things. Like I would like, I remember my older brother, this fucking story's crazy. So like my dad has other kids, right? So like my little sister, me and my little sister Kia from my mom and my dad, but my father has like fucking 40 kids from the back end. Anyways, my older sister and my older brother came to live with us from New Jersey, and they were already older. So like my older brother was like kind of fucking crazy, like straight tapped, right? He used to like try to fight my dad in the street. It was like crazy shit, right? But like he was like fucking up a lot. So like my dad and mom like, yo, you have to save money, otherwise you have to leave because you're not doing nothing. So I would like fucking steal his money out of his jacket, right, where he was saving it. Then I would take it to school, and like when we had the candy sales, I would buy extra candy and resell it. Yeah. Right? And then I was like having my mom and dad sell candy at their jobs and shit. And like he's like, I'm saving money, I don't know what's going on. And they like kicked him out the house because of that shit. And the day they were kicking him out,
you didn't give a fuck.
I got in trouble, right? Because I was like throwing candy on the bus to mad people, like just like balling out, like making it rain. It was weird. And like the school got wind of it and was like, something's not right. He's like buying boxes of candy. They called my mom and dad. So like they found out that I was stealing his money and like fucking buying candy with it and like stacking money.
Like you little
I was out of control. Yeah, I was like straight like on the road to like
you were straight hustling though.
Yeah, I was, you know what I mean? And and like I started to see that like if I wanted things for myself, I had to do other shit, right? So like at an early age, I started like working around like the building. Like I would like fucking put flyers underneath doors. I would collect cans. I would do whatever I could for money, right? Because I always wanted to like, I knew like that's what made the world work, right? At a very young age. So like I did it, right? And I still remember, right, my mother bringing me to see New Jack City, right? When I was 10 years old. And when I saw that movie, it changed my whole perspective of what I wanted to do. Like, it's fucking crazy, right? But I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be a drug dealer. I wanted to be that, right? Like,
it's mad enticing to watch. Yeah. It really is.
But, and also, like, coming out of your building, right, and seeing the drug dealer with the nice car, right? Seeing, like, the pimps and the hustlers with the girls, right?
They have everything that anyone could ever want.
Absolutely. So I was like...
And you don't know shit about spirituality or, like, having a soul at that age.
No, not at all, right? Mind you, I lived right next to Northeastern University. So at the time, Reggie Lewis, who ended up dying, played for the Celtics, he lived at the building right next to us because he went to Northeastern. And I still remember him like coming out of his apartment and like getting in this like IROC with this like blonde white chick. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to play basketball, I'm going to sell drugs, and I'm going to have a white girl. I swear to God, I was like fucking thinking like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that was like my thought process. You know what I mean? And like that's all I really thought about, right? Like I wasn't a really good student because I didn't apply myself. You know, like all I applied myself, like I was really good at sports, but I was like really not committed to school, and like it showed. My little sister was smart as hell. She'd get like straight A's, not one, like nothing bad, and I'd come home with like my report card, like hiding that shit, and like yeah. So yeah, that was my life for a long time. And like the older I got, the more trouble I got into Boston, right? Like by the time I was 11, I was already getting like sent from like one middle school to another middle school, and then like I ended up going to middle school in East Boston, and that's when like to Umana.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I went to the Umana, right, which was like a shit show, right? I had to like take the train, the Blue Line, and like this one, like gangs and shit was like getting real crazy, right?
MS-13 over there and shit.
No, but before then it was like the Maverick, like everything was sports teams then, right? So like Maverick Station, they had all the Maverick hats, right? And they would like... And we were like from the other side, right?
Before my time.
Yeah, absolutely. So they would like chase us and shit was crazy. But like going to that school was like super different. Like my best friend was like this Italian kid from East Boston. And like we used to do mad wild shit. And like, I had never been to no school like that. Like, Boston schools are ratchet, right? I come to this school, there's like a fucking swimming pool, there's like this big ass field house. I'm like, oh, this is some white people shit.
Skate park, was a skate park there?
Yep, everything. It was crazy. I'm like, damn, right? And it was like mad white girls, and they're like, oh, who's this black nigga from the hood, right? So
you
like,
always
I was like,
wanted that white girl.
So I was like coming through, like showing up and shit, right? But like, I was like fighting a lot of fighting, like a lot of getting in trouble. And like, I remember back in the day, we would like collect baseball cards and basketball cards, and this kid stole my card. So I had the brightest idea, right? To like, you know, me and the Italian kid, he's like, yo, listen, we're gonna get this kid. So he like took a pencil, and I like we had a drafting class, and we taped like these little razor blades on the pencils.
Oh, you made a shank.
Yeah, and we like, while we were going in the buses, we like cut this kid's, like did some crazy shit, right? And like, I was so like, not even like thinking, like I did it, got on the bus, went home, lived my life. Like I was like,
no remorse,
it
nothing.
Didn't even faze me, right? And then the next day, go to school, and I'm like looking up the escalator, and I see like these police and shit, and I'm like, oh fuck,
I did that.
Yeah, right. And like, yeah, man, and it was fucked up, man. I got like yo, like I got almost like damn near expelled. Like I got suspended for like mad long. Like I remember it was like right before Thanksgiving, and I remember my mother was like pfft. Like I came to my house. My mom always made sure I had like video games. I had like Nintendo, my room looked like a jail cell. Like all my posters gone, like no TV. She was like, yo, right?
You're done.
So then I was like, all right. So like I was suspended like all the way through from like November to like after like school vacation. And I thought I was going back, and they sent me to like this DYS like day program. So like I didn't even get to go back to school. So like they sent me to this program, which was like in Rosendale with all bad kids from 9 to 12.
That's it?
Crazy. I remember my dad dropped me off. I was in tears. I was like, I don't want to go. Like, please don't take me. And then I was like, you know what I mean? I'm like toughing it up. I walked in there, and like I get in there, right? And like, you got like this girl, like, oh, I stabbed my teacher. Oh, yo, I shot this. I'm like, I just had a pencil on a razor blade on a pencil. Like,
he stole from
I'm
me.
in the wrong place right now, you know? But what happened was I ended up starting to, now I'm like with these worst kids, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm learning from them now, right? I'm starting to pick up their behaviors and shit, right? I'm starting to do shit like that. And I remember, right? So like my dad used to like kind of like do some stuff with like some weed and stuff, you know, whatever. I remember like I would like steal some of his stuff, right? And like I remember when like this kid like was like, oh yo, I was like, yo, I can get weed. So I remember like taking it from my dad and like bringing it to my boy, and I think he gave me like $20 for like I really like as I got older I was like, damn, that was like an ounce. Like he got
straight
me.
beat.
Hell yeah, right? I was like 12 years old. I remember, right? My older sister went to UMass. She had came home from school, right? And my dad was like, yo, was anyone in my room, in my drawer? And I was like, nah. Me and my sister always fucking, we die about this shit. Because he was like, well, something's missing. And I was like, why? What's missing? He was like, a videotape. I was like, nah, I ain't see no videotape.
And you weren't lying.
Yeah, I did, right? Because he's not going to say,
where's my weed at?
You know? So I was like, nah, I ain't see no videotape. And I kept it moving, right? But like, yeah, my brain was already wired, right? So they let me go back to school, and I got into a fight like sooner or later. So my mom was like, yo, we're moving, right? Like, we're out of Boston. Like, you're not going to Boston. Like, you're out of here. We're moving to Lynn. I'm like, fuck is Lynn, right? Like, I'm like, Lynn.
What
She's
the
like,
fuck is a Lynn?
I had no idea what Lynn was, you know? And I remember driving from Boston to Lynn, it felt like it was like 2 hours back then. Like, it felt like it was like hours to get to Lynn. And I remember my mom took me, so we moved to like this part in Lynn, it's called Kings Lynn, which is not Lynn. It's like literally on this border of Saugus and Lynn. It's all townhouses, tennis courts, and swimming pools.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
It's still there?
Yeah, it's super nice, right? So I'm like, oh, hell no.
I want to be in the hood.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not. I remember, right? Like, we brought all our shit out there and like packed and shit. And it was like big, like literally, it was like this big ass. So I like come from Boston, 3-bedroom apartment, Like, you know, like now this is like a fucking 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 2 living room fucking townhouse.
Yeah. Mom pulled through.
1991, right? I'm like, this is bullshit.
Send me back to the project.
No. I'm like, I don't want to do this. So I'm like, oh, come on, man. So I remember going to my mom like, so we're sleeping in Boston tonight, right? She's like, no.
You're done.
This is your home. I'm like, so I remember for that first end of that year, like I would have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I didn't want to go to school in Lynn, and like go and get dropped off at Umana and like sit there and wait for the janitor because I was like stubborn. I was like, I'm not going to Lynn schools until. But it only lasted, you know. I ended up going to Lynn, and like honestly, like it saved my life. Like seriously, you know what I mean? Like there was no way I could get in trouble in Lynn like I was getting in Boston, right? Like it definitely saved my life, right? Like I started to be a kid again, right? Like in Boston, I was a kid. Like we rode bikes, we did shit, but it was always like some type of chaos, right? And like in Lynn, it was like these kids were like playing hide and go seek and fucking flag, capture the flag, like shit I didn't even know, right? And like there was like a community of kids who were like playing, right? And I was kind of like, maybe I can do this, right? You know, but also, you know, I was like, I have no choice, you know, like I'm obviously not taking a train and a bus from, I don't even know how to get to Boston, right? I felt like it was like years away. So like I had to like adapt, you know, and that was like my introduction to Lynn, right? And it like kind of saved me, you know, like I had to like learn how to like be a kid finally, right? Like try to learn how to just like have fun and like not be afraid of like gunshots and like people like, you know, dying and like all the chaos that was in Boston, right? Like more like, yo, now I'm like, you know, the first time I heard crickets
was in Lynn.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, there was crickets and like sprinklers and shit, you know? I mean, it was pretty cool though, you know, because we bought the hood. Like the cookouts and shit now, like all of Boston was coming to our houses for like the cookout. Like we had a whole bunch of black folks on the tennis courts just out there swinging rackets and shit, not knowing, you know what I mean? It was wild, yo. It was like, yeah, they knew we were there like fast. And you know, my mom and them, they would have the crazy cookouts, right? And we had the spot now, right? Before we'd have to go to like Salem Willows or some shit. Now we had like our own location. So it was cool, right? And it was also like super safe. You know, and it was good for my sister, you know, and so I adapted to the Lynn environment, right? But it was hard for me because like Lynn was really, really small, and like everybody in Lynn was like family. You know what I mean? Like everyone in Lynn is like family connected, right? And I wasn't, so it was hard for me to like really like get adjusted to it at the beginning, you know.
But you stayed out of trouble?
Absolutely, you know what I mean? It was funny, like so back then, if you were from Boston, it was like being from like New York or like some other, oh, that's the Boston boy, right? So like it was like pretty cool, right? It was like, you know, and it was, you know, Lynn.
Nobody wants to fuck with you either. I remember I went to East Boston High. I grew up in East Boston, but I knew like all the kids that came from Dorchester, Roxbury. I'm like, I'm not fucking with them.
Yeah, and it was like, what? So I just like, whatever, you know, I'm the Boston kid, right? But it was cool, right? Like I adapted, and at least like in Lynn, like the sports were like extremely good, right? So like I jumped into sports, you know, and I started kind of doing better in school. Not really that great because I still was trying to be like that kid who like tried to fit in by like not being smart, right? Like I thought being smart was like, you know, like a negative thing, right? Like if I was smart,
you're like everyone else, an average.
People wouldn't fuck with me, right? Like if I was smarter than people, right? Because I remember being in Boston, like being smart, they called you a nerd. You had to fight all the time, right? So like, you know, so I'm out here like not being for my full potential because of that, right? So like I would still dumb myself down in order to fit in, you know? Like I was talking about that today, like my true identity. Like I didn't really know my identity because I was always like navigating how to fit in, you know? So I did that, right? I fit in and I tried to figure it out, and I navigated my way through like high school, and like, you know, I did my thing, you know, played ball in high school. I did all right. I was okay. But I never maximized my potential, right? I never like until like it was a little too late. And I graduated barely, you know, but I did cross the stage, and like I didn't want to go to college. You know, like I didn't want to go to college. I was just like, I'm all set with that. You know, like I already started thinking about hustling, right? Like during that time, like my father was really gone now, right? And my mom had adopted my other little sister. So now it was like me, my little sister Kia, my little sister Shay, my mother. My mother was like waking up at like 6 in the morning, taking the bus to Boston to work. And then from Boston, she would go to the Macy's and work so she was like busting her ass. Like, and I saw that. So like, I knew if I wanted the Jordans and if I wanted the Tommy Hilfiger and the Polo, like 95 ever, like I needed to do something,
You
right?
need to hustle for it, yeah.
Yeah, right. So like now I got to work in sneaker stores because I work in sneaker stores. I can steal sneakers, I can get shit, right? And you know, then like I sell a little weed because like everybody smokes weed, right? So like I started to like get into that like crossing over into like the streets, right? And like trying to like not allow my mother to know this, right? But also making sure that now I'm fending for myself, right? Buy my own car, right? Not going to school, so I'm just like out there every night running the streets. Like I was crazy. Dyed my hair blonde. I was wearing colored contacts, like yo.
What color?
Every color. I didn't give a fuck. Green, brown, blue. I was just like, yo, my hair used to be brown, yellow, orange, red. I was like Dennis Rodman before like right at that time. Yeah, dude, I was like I got my tongue pierced in like 96, 97. Like I was getting tattoos, like when no one was doing that, right? Especially black niggas. Like, yo, like I was like the only black kid with a tongue ring, right? Had my eyebrow pierced, my labret pierced, like other shit pierced, right? Shit my mom don't even know how to pierce. Like and my mother was always like, yo, I would dye all my boys' hair, right, in my mother's bathroom and fuck her towels up. She'd be like, you
my God.
Yeah, I was like dyeing niggas' hair blonde and shit and like fucking my mom's towels up, her sink up. It was crazy. But yeah, that was like my shit, right? And like during that time, I was really like starting to like everything for me, right? So like growing up, I saw that like if you had women, you were the guy, right? Like a lot of women made you like cool, right? Like I thought that was cool, right? So like I started to like really dive into like this crazy thing of like dealing with a lot of females, man, and it was like really excessive, you know. Like sneakers and females was like all I was obsessed with, and like I was like running with that. So like that year of like not being in high school and then college and like being out like in the streets, like hustling and working and like trying to like navigate this without my mother finding out, right? Like I'd come home at like 4 a.m, like every day. My mom would be leaving notes on the table, like I can't do this no more. If you don't take that tongue ring out, if you don't dye your hair back, if you don't take that tattoo off, like crazy shit, right? I remember I got a mom tattoo after that, like it says mom.
You still hate it?
Yeah, you know, like I'm just forcing it, right? But like I remember like my dad would call me like, oh, your mother want me to talk to you. I'm like, bro, fuck out of here. So the end of like that full year of like me not going to school and nothing, right? I ended up going to like community college, junior college and shit, seeing my boy there. It's like, oh, yo, come pick me up. So I went to the gym. They were like all playing basketball. So I was like, he's like, yo, can you play? You want to play? And like during that time of the year I took off, I was playing mad basketball with my homies. We were like hooping in like these rec leagues. I was going to Boston playing. And like,
so wait, did you graduate high school or no?
I did.
Okay, this is all after high school?
After high school, yeah. This is straight after high school.
I'm trying to keep up. It sounds like you had a great fucking time, though. I'm not even going to lie.
Listen, my life was like a movie, right? And but it was crazy because like I was like living this life that I saw, right? I was like replicating, but like with my own shit, right? But also like things will always happen. Like for me, for a long time, I was really, really God gifted, right? Like God gifted me with a lot that I took advantage of, right? Like I took advantage of a lot of things that God gave me. And like, even like I said, like I went to see my boy. I was supposed to pick him up. He asked me to play ball. I had on Air Maxes and jeans. I was like, fuck it, I'll play. Rolled my jeans up, ended up killing everybody on the court. The coach is like, who's that kid? And he's like, oh, he don't go here. He's like, well, you want to give him a scholarship?
He does now.
So he fucking gave me a scholarship to play basketball, and I didn't want to take it. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not taking no scholarship to play here. Junior college? No, I'm not doing this shit, right? But like, my mom was like, you're taking that scholarship, right? You're going to go to school. You're going to do something with your life. You're not going to be out here like that, right? But I'm already now like really like in the streets more, right? And like, I'm like, all right, I'll go, right? I don't like math, so I'll be a criminal justice major. I'll play ball. I'll fucking just do it, right? And like it was like my own thing, right? Like I was like running the show on the court, and like I was really good, right? And like it took off, right? Like it did something that I didn't expect it to do, right?
Were you juggling that and the street stuff?
Oh, absolutely, right? But like it did something that I didn't know it would do for me, right? Like it started to like show, right? Like where like I was in the newspaper a lot. Like I started getting letters from different colleges, right? Like D1 schools like offering me scholarships like after I was finished, and I didn't know like those things would come. So like my perspective started to change a little bit, right? Like I thought like if I worked out and like actually like practiced, right? Like did the things that I needed to do to get better, I might have a chance, right? So I did it for one summer, right? Like I committed myself, right? I stopped hustling. Like I literally committed myself to straight basketball in school, right? And like I wanted to see, right? Like what could this get me, right? And yeah, man, it got me fucking a lot of scholarship offers, right? Like I remember they flew me to Alabama, like, but I wanted to pick a school that was close to home so that I can bring drugs to the school, right? So like in my head, I was like, I'm not going to the NBA. So fuck that. I'm just going to go to a fucking school where I know I can hustle. I'm going to play ball, and I'm just going to like maybe go overseas and make a couple million a year. Like I have this like whole master plan. So I decided to go to Westfield fucking State. So now this is where like all the shit my mom taught me as a kid came into play. Because I was like probably like 17 black kids on the whole campus. Like literally I walked on a campus of all white kids, like literally every single kid on the campus was white, right? And like the first day there, I was like with the black kids, and they brought me to this black hood party, and it was like empty as fuck, and I was like,
the fuck is this?
So then like my roommates were all white boys, and like, yo bro, let's come over here. And I already knew how to adapt, right?
Because of Vermont.
Everything. Yeah. I was like
you went skiing with us.
And being in Lynn also, it was like such a melting pot, right? Like, so I was like, I can do this, right? Because I've done keg parties in the woods, right? Like I've done that shit. I've thrown keg parties at my mother's house when she went on vacation. Like I've done that shit, right? So like I knew how to navigate with these white boys quick, right? And I also knew what they wanted. Right? They wanted the coke. So I'm like, oh, you know what? Sorry, brothers. I'm fucking with these white boys, right? Because those white boy parties were crazy. Yeah. Like I'm talking about some out of control, like jumping off of roofs. These dudes used to do some wild shit, and I used to be like, yeah, I'm here, right? So I like navigated there, and I started to like sell a lot of coke because like that's what they wanted. Like these kids' parents would like fucking putting $1,000 in their bank account every Friday, right? Like I'm selling these kids fucking.
You're taking it all, yeah.
All of it, right? To the point where like I have like fucking a safe, and I had a ceiling like that. It was like a drop ceiling. I had like a bag with a safe in it and shit. My mother's gonna kill me.
Don't send her the
link.
You
know what I mean? And so like, so like I'm literally like in school, right? Not going to class anymore. Like I stopped playing ball. Like fuck this ball shit. Like I'm selling drugs. Right?
Yeah, but how did you get to stay there? Like you just a scholarship for the academics?
So I was like, I had the full year to fuck off. There was already
and just
paid for.
Stack bread.
That's it. So I fucking sat at Westfield. I had all my homies come up sometimes. We throw parties. I was just partying. I partied for a straight year, and I threw the craziest party. Dudes like, yo, can we throw cake parties? I'm like, yeah, come get the money. Yeah, I had dudes selling coke. It was just fucking girls everywhere. Like I was like not going to class. I was smoking weed. I was eating food. I was just living my life. And I did that, right? I chilled, but I obviously knew that couldn't last. So I exited that school with a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like this. I'm not going to play ball. I'm not going to go to school. So I'm going to sell drugs, right? This is what I'm good at, right? Like I'm okay at this stuff, but I'm good at this.
Yeah. It's good old faithful.
So this is what I know, right? And I was like 21, and I needed to make a decision, right? Either I'm going to get in this game hardcore and be like both feet in, or I'm not. And I had to be both feet in, right? Like I knew this game was not anything but that. And that was my life, right? I got in the game. I hustled. I made a lot of money. And I had a great life doing it for a very long time, right? I thought I was untouchable, right? I did, right? Like I used to tell my ex-girlfriend, like, oh, I'm untouchable, nothing's gonna touch me, right? Like I moved to Miami right after 9/11, fucking had the ill-ass spot in Aventura with yachts, and like I was living like a fucking, like it was crazy. Yeah, me and my boy, yo, like we was like, and I was like, we were like the OC. Like I went to Miami, found the OC plug before anyone ever had him, and we like introduced him to like the North Shore, and it was like fucking crazy, right? And it was like some shit that took off, and I think about it now, like I like feel like I absolutely contributed to like what this is today, right? Like I absolutely was like one of the people who fucking started this fucking opioid addiction, right? And I hate the fact that I was that person, but I didn't see that at the time, right? I saw money, and I saw myself selling to drug dealers, not people who used, so I wasn't harming anybody, right? That's what I told myself, right? I justified that shit for a very long time, and I did that shit, right? I lived my life great, but I also, right, was transitioning very fast into like wanting a kid, right? And like I was like dating the girl, and like we decided to like have a child, right? Like I was like 24, 25, she was like 21, and we like, yeah, let's have a baby, right? And like I thought that would slow me down, right? Like if I have this kid, I won't do this.
Yeah, right. Now you need everything more times 2 and 3.
Tell 25-year-old that, and you know, like I was like, I got this, I can do this, I'm good, right? I'm gonna be smart, right? So like I had a baby, and like that was like my why, I thought, right? Like this is why I'm not gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna hurt this child. I'm gonna make sure I'm the best father. I'm gonna make sure I'm not my father, right? I'm gonna try to be a great baby daddy, whatever you want to call me. I wasn't ready to be no fucking boyfriend, baby daddy, none of that shit, right? I wasn't even ready to be a father, but I had to be, right? And so I wanted to figure it out, right? So I was like, I'm gonna stop selling drugs, and I started selling Kirby's,
like
vacuum cleaners.
You.
I swear to God, I was like, I gotta fucking like I started selling fucking vacuum cleaners, bro.
How well did you do with that?
So listen, my mom still has one of those vacuum cleaners to this day. Yo, them shits was like $2,000, right? Like make crazy commission off of it. And I was a hustler, right? But what happened was my addictive hustling personality was that as soon as I started working there, everybody who fucking worked there used OCs.
So it was following you. So you were like justifying
I was like, this fucking shit is bullshit, right? So I'm like,
okay, bet, got that.
So now I'm like, okay, well, people are asking me. So,
I have to serve the people.
So like literally it didn't last but like maybe 3 months, and I was right back in the game. Like I knew that. So like I literally, like to this day, I used to think like, I thought that my life would end as me being a drug dealer, dead, or in jail. Right? Like that was like my future, and I was okay with that, right? So I like got back into hustling, and right back to selling OCs, and back into the game, 110 toes deep, right? But I told myself I was not gonna affect my family with this, right? And my son was born October 2nd, 2003. January 7, 2005, I got arrested with him in the back seat of my car with a shitload of OC 80s, right, in his diaper bag. I got set up by one of a close friend. Yeah, it is what it is. But everything I said I wasn't going to do with him, I did with my son, right? I took him out to do a play. I brought him around. Like, you know, like I fucked that shit up, right? But that shit didn't stop me, right? They gave me a fucking $50,000 bail, and I fucking bailed out, and I went right back to selling drugs, right? Because that's all I knew. Like I still remember, like I missed my son's first steps because I was in jail for that weekend, right? He started walking the day I got locked up, right? Like shit like that, right? And like I didn't care, right? Like before I ever put a drug in my body, I realized today that I was addicted to so much shit, man. Like my addictive personality was raging, and like I was very selfish and like super like all about me, even though I thought because I bought my son and I gave my mother money and I took care of my BM that these things.
You had a justification for everything.
And a rationalization and a minimization and all this shit, right? And like, so like, even after they gave me 7 years, right? They gave me 4 to 7 for that. First time ever getting arrested. They fucking smoked me, right?
Wow.
And they sent me straight upstate, and my son was 2.5 years old, you know? So like I missed his 3rd birthday, his 4th birthday, his 5th birthday, you know? And like I remember him coming up because I used to tell him it was school, right? So like when he was time for him to go to school, he had a hard time going to school because he thought school was where I was at, right? And he didn't want to fucking do that. Going through metal detectors, fucking making him take his shoes off. So
yeah, thinking he's never gonna be able to leave every day.
So his transition was fucking hard, right? Due to what I did, right? I affected that, but I didn't see that, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that I was affecting his transitioning to like being a child because of what he was like. You know, instead of going to daycare, he was coming to fucking Concord. Right, visiting me, right, upstate, and the jail systems, and like, you know, like, so he spent a lot of his early years in the prison system with me, right, coming to see me, visiting me, and right, and like being, like, seeing all that shit, right. As much as I thought I could shield him, I couldn't, you know, and even when I was in jail, I knew when I came home I was gonna sell drugs.
Yeah, now you're gonna come back up again.
I knew I was gonna sell drugs, right? Like I knew it, right? I told everybody else I wasn't, but in my head,
You
I
knew.
was
How are
selling
you
drugs.
getting back on your feet?
I'm
Right.
selling drugs, right? And I came home right, and I got mad good time. I made it home for my mother's 60th birthday and my son's 6th birthday, literally like 3 days before that on parole, right? Because like, you know, I did what I had to do in jail. I fucking got my good time. I fucking stayed out the way, right?
Because you can adapt anywhere.
And I did. Like, I fucking adapted to that motherfucker. Like, I mean, I had cell phones. It was crazy. So, yeah, I came home, 09, fucking got right back in it. And now it's like the Perk 30 era, right? And, like, that shit was, like, another level, right? Like, I got back up fast. Like, literally, I was home in October. By, like, fucking February, I had my own little, I had to call it, like, the mini mansion. I had, like, this fucking ill-ass penthouse loft up in Danvers. Like, I was, like, had the Range Rover. Had, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was already back up, right? Like, I was already back, right? Like, I'm on parole.
Yeah.
I'm going to Miami. I'm in LA. I'm in Puerto Rico. Like, I'm, like, not even telling my PO and shit. And I was, like, really running around, right? Like, doing mad crazy shit. I was living so reckless, right? But like I was still making a lot of money and like mad good things were happening to me, and I also thought I was still untouchable. And like it got crazy. Like my life got really fucking crazy and dangerous like around 2011 because like I went to LA for All-Star Weekend. Went out there by myself. I knew some people out there, balled out, mad jewelry, mad money, rented a fucking Porsche. It was crazy. And somewhere along that way, someone who I was with knew some Mexican dude, and I met this fucking Cali cartel connect, right? Like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into at the time, right? Like, they introduced me to him. They're like, yo, listen, I can get you weed, you can bring you this shit, whatever. My statute of limitations is up on this, so I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, so like, you know, they were fucking looking out. They were like, yo, we can give it to you. You need it. So I'm like, yeah, whatever, bro, send it. So I went back and like, it started off small, right? And it ended up snowballing into something like real different, right? Because like, it got to the point where like now, like I have to like go to Mexico.
Oh, fuck that.
I'm on parole and I had to go to Mexico. And I had to fucking give these motherfuckers my ID with my address on it. I had to give them my mother's maiden name, my mother's address, right? Yeah, I had to do that shit, like, because they wanted to know that, like, if I fucked up their package, they were going to go to my mother, right? And I couldn't say no because I didn't know if I was going to leave. It was fucking crazy, right? So now I'm in deep with some shit. So I had to make sure that they had their 1.2, whatever it was, like, all the time, right? And it was only weed until it wasn't, right? And then it was like, we're going to send you this now. And I'm like, I can't say.
Yeah, and they're like, get it off.
And it just got crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier, right? And it was like starting to become like unbearable, right? And I was starting to lose myself, right? Because it was like a lot of money and it was like a lot of shit happening around
And yeah, you're
me.
good at what you do, but this is a lot.
It's a fucking lot, right? Because I got to make sure that their money's there, right? And I got to make sure that that's right. But also I'm having fucking shit dropped off. So at the time I didn't even get into my recording studios and all the shit that I had in between and like the building where shit was dropped off.
Fucking 17 lives.
I did, man. It was crazy, right? So at this time I'm trying to do my music shit. I got my artists. I got fucking my whole company, Last Word Entertainment. We're doing shows, French Montana. We got fucking like doing videos with my artists. But at the same time I got people recording upstairs and we're in the basement fucking soaring open fucking jacuzzis with fucking a whole bunch of work in it, right? Like living two lives still, right? My son's on the third floor doing his homework, right? I'm coaching his basketball team. I'm trying to be like mad different people, right? Trying to fucking navigate, but I'm not able to do it. Right, and I ended up catching up to him. Like, I violated parole. They fucking sent me back to jail.
Finally.
And thank God, yeah. But I
finally violated after violating millions of times.
And like, thank God, right? Because that shit saved me, because I got an out because of that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I literally told my man, no, I was like, yo, bro, I need you to pay this dude off, and then we're good. Tell him I'm locked up.
Tell him I got hemmed up, and he's coming down with me if you don't let me go.
No, so I literally, they were like, paid him off, and like, they did their thing, and I was like, yo, it was like kind of like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have to deal with that shit no more, you know? And like, I was like, you know, and I just like sat in Walpole for 6 months and fucking was pissed and angry, but I was also like, I don't have to deal with that, right? Everything is paid off. They're good. I can come home. I don't have to worry about saying yes to them anymore, right? That chapter is closed, and I was grateful that chapter was closed, because it was just getting too crazy. But because of that, I lost a lot too. You know what I mean? Like, I lost so much due to that fucking 6 months being held back, right? Like, my music shit fell apart. Like, a lot of shit fell apart, and I came home still knowing that I only knew one thing, right?
You picked back up?
I started selling drugs again, but not with the cartel. It was just regular shit now, right?
I was just working for myself
it was just back around regular shit, right? Trying to but at this time, the game was starting to change also, right? The pills were getting fake, fentanyl was coming, heroin was more. Like, you know, the game was changing, and I was trying to navigate it, and it was getting harder, right? So I was doing other things, right? You know, manipulating women, doing a lot of that, right? Like, strip club shit, and like a lot of shit that I'm not proud of, right? But I was doing, right? Because I had to like balance money out and make sure that I had my money, and
where there's money to be made, you find it.
I did, right? Like, I found a lot of ways to make money, and I did it for a very, very long time, right? Until I couldn't anymore, right? Because I was starting to hurt people along the way, right? Like, more and more people were starting to get affected by my shit, right? And it was always a woman, right? Like, whatever I was doing, there was not with too many men, there was always a woman with me, and they were always riding out. And I thought, because it was my way, the highway, that like I was giving them an option, but I really wasn't, right? Like, I was taking advantage of them. Like, I was like making them believe that like this was like something that, like, you know, and it was
they're
fucked
gonna
up.
benefit from, you're gonna take care of them.
And they did, right? Because it wasn't like that.
But at what cost?
Exactly. At what cost, right? And it was a lot of cost, right? Yeah, trips to Miami, shit like that, but it was still a lot of cost, right?
Yeah, they were losing their souls.
They lost their souls, right? You know? And like, fast forward into like 2017, 18, where like someone that I really, really cared about and really, really loved, like, and this is like not my story to tell, because like she has family and stuff out there like that. So like long story short, like someone passed away, right? That like really meant something to me, right? Like, and I took that pain in, right? Like, I felt like I should have done more. I felt like I could have done more. Like, mental health is real serious. I didn't know nothing about that back then, right? I didn't know about like how to help people out of those situations, right? I thought you help people by putting money there, right? Paying bills, right? Coddling, right? Like, I didn't know like how to like help, right? I didn't. I didn't understand it, right? So like, I did that with like drugs and money and like rent and like whatever I could do. And I lost somebody, right? And I lost someone who was like really important at that time for me, right? And I didn't know how to handle that, right? So how I handled it was like, I don't deserve anything else. I need to be fucking punished. So I started sniffing heroin, because that was the only thing that I knew. Up until that date, I never touched a drug in my life, right? Like, I never like smoked weed and drank, yeah, but I never ever put substances in my body that I knew could control me until that day, right? Like, I knew like I was trying to destroy my life in a way, right? And I did, right? Like, the first day I put heroin in my body, it was fucking a wrap, right? Like, a lot of people, like, this story's coming out, like, a lot of people know what I was doing, but they don't, right? Because I hid it a little bit, but like the people who know me and love me knew that I was different, right? And like I started sniffing a lot, and I was losing a lot, and I kept losing and kept losing, and I stopped caring, and I kept losing, and I stopped seeing my kid, and I kept losing, and I stopped seeing my family, and I kept losing, right? And it just kept snowballing, right? But like I didn't care, right? Like for some reason, like money didn't matter anymore, right? Women didn't matter anymore.
Grief took over.
It did, and I lost everything really, really fast, Like I lost, like it took me years to get everything, and it took me fucking months to lose it, and but I didn't care, you know what I mean? Like I really didn't. I didn't really care about losing things, right? And it sucks, right? Because like I was so lost in this drug now. I was so lost in this fucking depression. I was so lost in this mental health shit that I was going through that like I wasn't even fucking aware that I wasn't seeing my kid, right? Like I wasn't aware that I wasn't there, right? And I wasn't like, and I fucking sucks to say, like I almost like feel like I didn't care, but I did. Like I tried my hardest to see him, but like I would like fucking take him to the movies and like half the time spend it in the bathroom sniffing dope, right? Like shit that I did not want him to be around. So like I thought the best thing for him would for me to not be around him, right? Like I don't want him to ever find me in any situation, right? And I don't want to put him in another situation now as a teenager. As a kid, you're not going to remember it, but as a teenager, you will, And so I thought the best thing for me to do was not have him in my life, which is the worst mistake I ever made, And the drug took me to the left, right? And it snatched my soul, and it snatched my feeling. It took away everything that I was, and it made me like really, really heartless. And like the worse I got heartless, then I started doing way more crazy shit, right? Like I ended up like fucking going to Mass Ave. Like I remember when I used to hustle and I made a lot of money, and I would drive through there and I would always say, if I ever got there, like it's a wrap. Like I'm like someone, yeah, like that's a bottom, right? Until I got there, right? And when I got there, it was like, oh, this is
home.
Controlled chaos at its finest, right? Like carrying guns, machetes, like running up and down the streets, and like it was fucking crazy.
The police being cool with it, like.
And it was during COVID, right? Like had
no
a lot of PUA money. No one's fucking like, and it was just so chaotic, and it was like exactly what I wanted for some reason, right? And like I found a solace in that, and I fucking didn't understand why, because I was never that type of person, right? I didn't hustle on the streets, right? Everything I did was wholesale. Right, and now I'm like doing this hand-to-hand shit, fucking crazy, right? But I enjoyed it, right? Because I was searching to feel something, right? But I also felt like I understood all their pain, right? The shit that they were going through, right? The losses, the hopelessness, the helplessness. I felt that, right? Even though I didn't need to have that, but I took it, right? And I like started to believe that and those people were my family. Like I started to believe that like that was home and those people cared about me, right? And like that's where I was supposed to be. Like I remember my mother would come looking for me, and her Mini Cooper would come off the highway, and she would like, and I would like duck and dodge, like it was hard, right? And because I knew I was breaking her heart, because she knew I was out there, right? And but I didn't care, right? Like at that point, I wanted to die a little bit. Like I kind of was like, I was
wouldn't care if you died.
I was doing everything possible too,
yeah.
Right? Like I was reckless as fuck. I was like doing everything possible to die, right? And it wasn't happening, right? It was like continuously getting worse, though, right? I kept losing everything, and so I always tell people I went from the penthouse to the tent house, right? Like real shit, like
Yeah.
like it's real shit, right? Like I was fucking homeless on Mass Ave. Like that's something I would have never ever believed that I was, right? Like I was fucking homeless on Mass Ave, right? And I didn't have to.
You felt like you deserved it because of all the
Absolutely.
contribution you felt like you
Absolutely.
had?
Yeah, I absolutely did. That was like a lot of the things that I took with me. Like I was like I need this because this is what I created, right? Like I literally used to believe that, like, yo, I created half these people dying and all these souls lost, right? And like I believed that like I need to feel this, right? Because this is something that I created years before, right? Like, but even though I know that I didn't now, but then I was like, yeah, this is part of me, right? I did this, right? So like, yeah, I gotta feel this, right? And like the only thing I never did that I thank God for was I never put a needle in my arm, because I probably would be fucking dead if I did, right? But yeah, I did a lot of not yets, and you know, and I did a lot of fucking grimy shit, and I did a lot of reckless shit, and I did a lot of shit to people that I shouldn't have done, and I was out there fucking really being a piece of shit to people, right? To where like I was harming people, right? I was taking advantage of their sicknesses, right? Even though I was lower, the people who were lower than me, I was fucking using that as like a weapon, right? And like having people do fucked up shit, and I was manipulating and terrorizing, right? And it was fucking sick, you know. And I didn't have a soul. I was soulless, and like all that shit caught up to me, you know. I ended up getting arrested, like, cause like they let shit stack up out there, right? I was doing hand to hands and all crazy shit I didn't even know. And one day they fucking snatched me up and took me to Nashua Street, and this was like August of 22. And at that time, I had caught so many enemies and so much fucking drama from what I was doing out there, right? And like, to this day, I don't know what happened to me, and thank God. But like, whatever happened to me in that jail, right? Like, I probably deserved it. I don't know. It is what it is. But like, I ended up fucking waking up in fucking Mass General from being in a coma, right? Like, that's where my disease, pretty much got me. Yeah, absolutely. You know, like it did kill me, right? And it wasn't from using, right? It killed me because of fucking everything else, right? And like, yeah, I ended up fucking waking up fucking in Mass General to like people staring over me, and it wasn't too many, right? But I remember seeing this fucking 6'5" man, right? And like being confused on like who this was, right? You know? And it like was my son, right? Like he was like a grown ass man that was 19 years old, right? And he was a grown, like he didn't need me anymore, right? And like the only time he saw me was since forever. I can't even remember how long I hadn't seen him, you know, 5 years, 6 years, I don't know. But like him watching me in a coma, like that shit was fucked up, right? Like that's what I gave him, right? Like, you know, and like that shit was hard. You know what I mean? Like his voice was changed. He was a man, right? I couldn't tell him shit, right? Like I just was happy to see him, but like I knew that he didn't want to be there, right? And I didn't want him to not be there for no reason other than wanting to. And if he didn't want to, then he didn't have to, you know? So like, you know, my BMI brought him up, but like, yeah, I knew that like that wasn't gonna last, right? I was happy to see him, but it was a fucked up situation, like, and honestly, like my mother, like maybe one other person showed up, right? Like that was it, you know? And I knew that at that point, if I could have walked, right, and like really been like functioning and my brain was right, I probably would have went back to Mass Ave and fucking ran the streets and fucking died, right? But like God sat me down, you know? Like he really sat me the fuck down, man, right? And like I ended up staying in Mass General until like February of like 22, 23. And then they sent me to like a rehab place to learn how to like read and like write and the shit. I like forgot all that shit. Like I had to learn the dates over. Like,
so you ended up in a coma from a head injury?
Yeah. Yeah. So like I ended up having to like fucking learn how to do all that shit over again, man. And like it was humbling, right? But like now the drugs are out of my system, right? But now I'm hopeless, right? Because I have nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was resigned to the fact of living in a hospital for the rest of my life. Like I was okay with that, right? Like I thought I was gonna live in like this like facility in Worcester for the rest of my life, and I was like cool with that, right? Because like I wasn't homeless anymore, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't think my mother was gonna allow me to go to her house, right? I caused her mad pain, right? So like then like my insurance was like, oh no, he can't be there, and like they like kicked me out. And it was like fucking June, right? So like I was there from like forever, you know? And like I remember like crying, right? Because I didn't know what was gonna happen, right? But I remember someone like telling me, if your mother gives you a place to live, if she lets you go to her house, you better do exactly what you're told to do, right? Like you better fucking step up. Like you better fucking show up and do absolutely everything possible to not break that woman's heart, right? And even knowing I couldn't do that for her, I had to do it for myself. I did, right? Like she let me sleep on her couch, right? And I remember that day I got out the hospital, I went straight to Elliot. Like straight to Elliot, right? And I just did what someone told me to do. Like I fucking listened. I fucking went to 100 groups.
You never took your own advice ever again?
Never, right? I fucking kept my head down, right? I fucking listened. I took advice. I listened. I spoke up. I got vulnerable. I did therapy. I worked on all the trauma. Not just the trauma that I fucking happened to me, but trauma I caused other people. The shit that I did to people, right? I had to work on that shit, right? And I had to close a lot of chapters, right?
Yeah.
And I had to get better, right? And like things were sucky, right? Like my life wasn't better because I was sober, right? It still sucked. But I also knew that if I don't use, it will get better, right? And it did, right? Like life got better, right? It started to change because I started to change, right? And I started to understand that. And only for me to get better, I have to do the right thing and like trust people, right? And like let people trust me, and I know that I won't hurt them and they won't hurt me, right? And that was like a hard thing to do, but it worked, right? I listened, I trusted, I got better. I started learning, I started fucking getting involved, fucking doing all the things they tell you to do, right? And I ended up in a place that I am today, right? Like I'm starting to be successful, right? Like life is starting to be fucking excellent. Got a great job, you know.
Got a great boss.
Great fucking boss. Fucking no, like seriously, you gave me a fucking chance, you know. And like I'm always grateful, right? And I'm super loyal to that, right? And like I'm going back to school, right? I'm going back to school. And like I got a lot of opportunities ahead of me, right? I got a beautiful ass girl. I got a dope ass apartment, right? Like my mother is fucking sleeping at night, right? Like all these things that I wanted before and didn't know how to like get, like are coming to me now.
How's
right?
your relationship with your son now?
It's not.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, I text him, like, he reads it, you know what I mean? Like, I know, like, that's on his time. He's 20 fucking 2 years old now, right? He doesn't need me, right? He needed me before, right? But I know that, like, all I can do is keep doing what I do, right? Like, I text him, I let him know I'm there, I let him I love him, I let him know I miss him. He reads it. That's awesome, because he wasn't reading them, right? Now he reads them, right? So maybe one day he'll respond. Absolutely. But I know I can't allow that to affect me, right? Like I know what I did and I know what I do today, and I know that one day, hopefully, he'll see that and we can find a way to navigate a relationship.
He'd probably be angry at you if you were dead too. So
yeah, absolutely.
Angry, I mean, dead or alive, he would have been angry.
No,
so.
Absolutely, you know? So yeah, man. Today, like I said, man, I can do what I want. I don't chase the drama. I don't chase the streets. I don't chase the chaos, right? I go to bed at fucking 9:30. Right?
Chasing peace and Z's.
I love it though. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about fucking spending all my money on crack and fucking all the dumb shit, you know? I don't have to look over my back anymore, right? And if I do, right, anything that happens from what I did in the past, right, I have to be okay with that, right? Like I still have to understand that like some doors aren't closed for other people, right? And I have to be okay with that shit, right? Like I just know that like what I do today moving forward is like I know who I am, right? I didn't know who I was all those other years, right?
You found yourself.
Yeah, absolutely, right? I was just the person that I needed to be for the place I needed to be for the people who I needed to be around, right? And yeah.
And now you're who you need to be.
Absolutely, right?
Period.
Fucking right.
That was a dope story.
Yeah, man.
I know that we're at our limit, but that was a really dope story. I could have went on for a lot longer.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a part 2.
Yeah, for real.
That was pretty unbelievable.
I'll break the other shit down.
Yeah, absolutely. You got definitely the first part of like how you got to this point. You kind of just touched that on like the recovery part a little bit at the end, but like that's probably gonna be part 2, dude.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But yeah, it's been a great episode.
Appreciate you guys.
To celebrate,
it was worth the wait.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, and he just celebrated,
and we celebrate. We got 100 subscribers on YouTube. Pretty dope.
Absolutely.
Not only that, but we got a pretty sick follow on TikTok. I want to shout out Reno's gave us the follow on TikTok.
Shut up.
Yeah, I've never been in there. I live like right next door.
Oh, one of my favorite spots ever.
Yeah, I know, but it's open at like 3 to 9.
Yeah, I know, but you can do pickup.
I can do pickup, but like I'm still like working those hours.
All right, whatever.
But if I find a day off, I'll maybe next Wednesday. Maybe I'll stop into Reno's and say what's up. Good. Now that they're fans.
Get the pappardelle. Oh, I'm hungry.
Now that they're our biggest fans.
Yeah, maybe they'll like one of our videos.
I saw that this morning and was like, "Fuck yes, yes."
I love that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a great episode. Thank you for coming on, Idris.
Absolutely, I appreciate you guys for having me.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Thank you.